I mean, how many of you are of the voting age? Oh, very few. Too many Gen Z in this room. Not yet ready for voting, but in a democracy, our duties do not stop after voting. We are supposed to continue to point out the shortfalls of the government, which one, I'm sorry to say, doesn't see much happening in Mizoram, at least in the English press. Maybe in the vernacular newspapers. Do you have a column for letters to the editor in your vernacular newspaper? You have? Do people write? Okay. And do governments take action? After you write, does the government take action? Or do you stop writing? Once you've written, you don't want to write anymore. So creativity does not end only with producing books. It also means that you take responsibility to create something readable for those who do not have the leisure of reading books. Many people are too tied down by housework. They need short reading matter. And I have been hearing from friends here that there are a lot of single women parents in Mizoram. Is that right? Yeah? I used to think that it was only in Meghalaya that we have many single parents who are women. I'm one of them. But we come to hear of this and it pains because, a single mother has limited resources. How can she educate her children? She can have dreams for them, but will those dreams ever translate into reality? And what is the rest of society doing? Is the church helping in educating those children from single parent homes? So anyway, I think I'm going out of the topic, but I think it's a very important point that needs to be made, and that young people in colleges and universities need to think about what is it that is at the root of this easy separation of couples, leading to one of the couple having to bear all the responsibility. And very often, friends have told me that the children from such homes tend to become very desperate, very hopeless, and then get into substance abuse, which is a very sad thing. But let me come to creative writing. Creative writing is using the imagination to write poetry. I've bought quite a few books from the stalls here, written by the research scholars, and I can see in those poems a lot of pain, a lot of anguish that results from a broken love affair. It's good that you're able to express yourself through writing, because writing is healing. I lost a daughter in 2008. She was married for 7 months. And it's very difficult for a parent to get over that kind of loss. So what I did was I wrote a chapter in a book that is edited by Jerry Pinto, a very well-known writer. That book is called A Book of Light, and it has stories from several families or individuals who have people in their homes who suffer from mental health problems. And Jerry Pinto calls them families that have someone with a different mind. He uses that because in our society, if somebody has mental health problems, the first thing we do is we label them, no? We call them mad, especially if they have to go to a psychiatrist. Or so-and-so has gone mad, so that person has to go to a psychiatrist. So my theme would be that creative writing is storytelling in its purest form. It's bringing out what's deep inside your heart. It's to write with passion. And when you write the first draft, please do not worry too much about errors, about grammar, about syntax. All that can be corrected later on. The important thing is to bring out as much as possible what's inside of you, put it in writing, and then it can be edited, it can be transformed, it can be, it can be improved upon by several other people who call themselves editors. Now, the reason why I think the theme of this workshop today is creative writing, and it's about writing our own stories from this region. The reason is because if we do not write about ourselves, who will write for us? Or about us? Somebody else, no? Somebody else from the rest of India will write about us, will misread our traditions, our cultures, and will write about us as they see us from the outside without understanding the deeper nuances of our culture, which is why it is important to write so that we are not represented. I don't like that word represent at all. Nobody should represent us. We should represent ourselves. And there's a saying that there is no end to creativity. Creativity never gets exhausted. You write one word, then another word flows out, then a third word flows out, then you have a sentence, then another sentence follows. So once you put your heart and mind into that write-up, that piece of writing that you want for the whole world to see, for the whole world to read, then that itself is a trigger for you to produce the best kind of literature, the best kind of poetry. Now, we are grateful to the British. In Meghalaya, we got the Khasi script in 1841. We are grateful to them because otherwise we were still an oral tradition people. We couldn't write our own traditional customary practices. In fact, a lot of them were translated or transcribed by the British. And even today, many of our historians continue to fall back on British accounts about us. In Mizoram, I think you got the script in 1894, which is about 53 years later. So I'm sure that, there is a backlog there as well. And I think a lot of writing emerged only by the 20th century. But I have to say that we see so many Mizo writers. I was telling Thea earlier today that we need to have a Northeast Book Festival somewhere, either in Guwahati, which is central to all, where we will have only the books of Northeast writers being exhibited there. Otherwise, all these books that we see being exhibited outside, they don't get to see the light of day beyond Mizoram. Don't you want your writing to travel to the whole world? Only very few writers, who win a Booker or who win some kind of award get their feelings appreciated across the world. Those are too few. We know of Mona Zote, very good, we are happy about that, but we want young writers also to figure in the list of those literary giants. When we say giants, it should not be just by age. Anyone can be a giant depending on how much of creativity you pour out into your writing. So we actually, as a people of this region, and I call this region India's Northeast. I don't call it Northeast India because Northeast India is a geography. India's Northeast means that we are still willy-nilly part of India, although we have to prove ourselves all the time, and it takes a lot for us to explain ourselves to the rest of the world. Then when people come here, they either sort of romanticize, extol our quality, or they are outright rude. You know, we have these two opposites. If there is a little quarrel between a tourist and a local, then we become very bad people. If they have good experiences, then we become very good people. I don't think we should depend too much on other people's opinions, which is why it's important that we write about ourselves. When we write about ourselves, let people critique that writing. Let them say what they want to say. We will clarify our points, but we cannot be written badly about. If somebody has one unfortunate encounter, that does not generalize into everyone being that same person. So, what is lacking in our writings, I think very often, is that we do not capture our customary practices as far as community land holding systems are concerned. In my own state of Meghalaya today, we have very rich tribals and very poor tribals, and nothing in between. It's a very sad, it's a very sad sort of situation when we, as a community of people who were at one time very egalitarian, all of us started at the same footing. If today some of us fall through the cracks and we don't even have a home to call our own. I'm happy that in Mizoram, at least, I think there is no such thing as landlessness. I don't know how it is in Nagaland. In our state, the rural poor are now landless. And I keep asking myself, how can we call ourselves a community when we are landless? You know, how can we call ourselves indigenous people? Indigenous people are identified by their right over the land. That is our identity. If we don't own any more land, even for just a roof over our heads, then where's that sense of community? I think we've lost it. So why we need to write is also to critique ourselves. Mind you, we are people as tribals, we hesitate to critique ourselves, to look into our own societies. The moment we criticize our own societies, we will be shunted out, we will be called names, we will be questioned as to why we are demeaning our own societies. But I think a society should be robust enough to take those criticisms. And if we do not have people critiquing their own societies and then pointing out to a way forward, how to redeem ourselves, then we are a lost cause. I think we sometimes become too proud and too possessive. Insurgency period. Maybe Gen Z here will not know much about that because that was 1966 up to about 86, right? And there were people who really fought for the cause of the Mizo people. But if we don't read about that part of our history, I think we are missing something. We should know who were those people who fought for us, what were they fighting for, and ultimately, this is the only state that signed a peace deal with the center and where the peace has survived. So that also is something that has to be captured as part of your history, because not everything about our history is hunky-dory. No, there are the ugly parts, there are the good parts, everything. We should be mature enough to take everything with the strength, with the resilience that is in us, without criticizing anyone. So the reason why we need to encourage creative writing is because it helps us use the imagination. Our imagination can run wild. However, now that Gen Z people are so addicted to their phones, And most of you sleep, I think, at about 2 in the morning, right? Am I generalizing? What time do you go to sleep? 10. Yeah, here I realized that you have your dinner very early. By about 6 o'clock, a professor is telling us that you go and have your dinner. And we are not used to that. So I'm glad that you are not early morning sleepers. What time do you wake up in the morning? Say louder. 5. 5. Very good, yeah? Then you can be great writers. In the rest of the country, in my state, people are scrolling through their mobile phones until 2 a.m. in the morning. Then they sleep and then they can't get up in the morning. So your mind goes haywire. Then you cannot have a healthy imagination to write out your stories. So please, young people, please stick to your healthy sleeping timings and continue to wake up at 5. When you wake up at 5, what do? You know, that's the best time to write. I'm trying to write my autobiography now, so I've set a deadline for myself to wake up at 5 and to write from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. That's a very good time to bring out the best in you, because you haven't been disturbed by the day's occurrences. So that's a good time to pick up your pen or your laptop or your, laptop is good. Pen is too outdated now. So and with these few words, I don't think I have much more to share. Maybe if you have questions, we can engage in a conversation, because Dr. Thea had given you a lot to mull on, a lot to think about when you go back home. So thank you very much for listening, and sorry for that short interruption of power supply. Thank you.